Coming down the final stretch now, and she is still starving for more. For Alexandra Eala, the love affair with Miami is going strong. This time around, she is entering the draw as a seeded player. She is definitely delivering for the crowd, sending home the very giant killer who just finished toppling the second seed Viant. It was a masterclass from Eala, who has officially got a target on her back. All eyes are on her, and you can always tell which court is hers. Just follow the roar of the fans. Meanwhile, a classy show of respect from Magda Linette. Her lower back was clearly acting up, but what a run she had, especially after that gritty upset over the world number 2. Let's hear it for Magda Linette. She deserves a massive hand from everyone. But tonight, the grandstand belongs to Alex Eala, and she is moving on. Seriously, stop whatever you are doing right now. Don't even dream of scrolling away from this. Put down the remote. Push back your appointments. Turn that phone to airplane mode. Disconnect every other gadget from the internet. Bolt the doors, pull the shades, and turn those speakers up until the whole house starts shaking. I need your undivided, absolute focus for a few moments. The pundits, the nervous executives, and the old guard in the dressing rooms just saw their biggest nightmare come to life on the stadium court. They honestly thought they knew how to stop her. They figured the luck would eventually run out. When the powers that be looked at the bracket for the Sweet 16, spotting Alexandra Eala paired against a pro like Linette, they smugly told themselves the kid from the Philippines was finally hitting a brick wall. The talking heads kept saying that Linette, a tough-as-nails European veteran who has seen it all, would drown the 20-year-old in deep water. They swore experience would eat youth for breakfast. They argued the massive, suffocating pressure of the grandstand stage would finally break the star student from the Nadal Academy. They were flat out wrong, and today they got absolutely schooled in front of a global audience. The numbers popping up on your screen tell a much bigger story than a simple match result. This is not just data. This is effectively the end of an era for the established names on the women's tour. We are looking at cold, hard evidence of a complete and total mental breakdown of an opponent. Check the board. Alexandra Eala picked Magda Linette apart, winning 6-3-7-6. No, a straight sets win does not even begin to describe the absolute carnage we witnessed on that court today. We have got to cut through all the typical media fluff. Forget the weak, fumbling excuses you are hearing from the broadcast booth. Let us actually dig into the tactical numbers here. Once you see how she dictated play, you will understand why the tour directors are starting to sweat. Start with the one stat that basically defies the laws of physics and logic on this page. Take a really long, hard look at her success rate on second serves. Prepare yourself because this specific figure turns pro tennis logic completely upside down. Alexandra Eala pulled off a mind-blowing 86% win rate on her second serve. Let me repeat that so it actually sinks in. 86%. In the cutthroat world of women's tennis, a second serve is usually a huge target. It is the ultimate weak spot. That is when the opponent is supposed to step up and just hammer the ball. Even the biggest legends of the game, players with massive power, usually only win about 50 or 55% of those points against elite returners. If you are hitting 60% on second serves, you are having an incredible day at the office. But Eala hit 86%. How is that even possible at this level? Here is the secret. Alexandra Eala has completely erased the word weakness from her vocabulary. During the 36% of the time her first serve failed, she did not blink. She stayed perfectly calm. She just threw the ball back up and ripped a second serve with so much nasty topspin that Linette was basically glued to the floor. Close your eyes and imagine the pure, soul-crushing frustration of being on the other side of the net today. You are a 34-year-old pro who has been around the block. You have played hundreds of matches. You are just waiting for the kid to finally miss her first serve so you can pounce. The ref calls a fault. You take a breath and step inside the line, ready to crush the ball and take control. Then, Eala drops a bomb that jumps right at your chin and feels like hitting a brick. You are stuck hitting a weak return, and by the time you look up, Eala is already set drilling a forehand winner right past you. 86% of the time Linette saw an opening, Eala slammed it shut. She basically told a veteran player, "Even my backup plan is better than your best shot." Realizing you cannot even win when the other person makes a mistake, that is how you break someone's spirit. This kind of terror just paralyzes you. Your lower body feels like concrete, and every plan you had simply falls to pieces. The situation gets even bleaker once you look across the net and realize the seasoned pro is totally holding her ground. Linette managed to walk away with only 58% of the points whenever she had to use her backup serve. Failing that initial serve left Linette wide open, whereas for Eala it just served as the build-up to a flawless, non-stop offensive. A massive unbridgeable gap separates the two when it comes to raw talent, tactical insight, and psychological grit. We are going to analyze how this absolute beatdown unfolded, dissecting every grueling game of the contest. Most reporters figured Linette would take charge early on and dictate the overall rhythm of play. People thought the older player's crafty slices would rattle the rookie, but Eala launched a terrifying full-scale blitz, racking up 5 straight games for a dominant run. During that opening stretch, she did not just beat Linette, she absolutely suffocated her. She pinned her opponent back against the baseline, offering zero space to recover. Linette's strongest effort was a brief 3-game run. Whenever the pro tried to spark a comeback or get the fans involved, Eala would lock in, find a range, and blast a forehand so hard it practically ripped the racket out of Linette's hands. Eala collected 24 points while returning, taking total control of Linette's service games from the very first ball. Eala set up 5 separate breakpoint opportunities and managed to convert 2 of those key moments. She systematically dismantled the seasoned player's service game right when the stakes were at their highest. But the real turning point, the moment proving Eala is the tour's most lethal closer, happened at the very end of set 2. These are the split seconds that separate the icons from the average players. The set was tied up at 6 games apiece. They moved into a tiebreak, which is easily the most high-pressure and stressful scenario in professional tennis. This is the exact setting where veteran experience is supposed to shine through, where wisdom and cool heads should beat out raw young power. Magda Linette felt certain that by dragging the 20-year-old into a second tiebreaker on such a massive stage, the Filipina star would eventually crumble under the immense weight of the moment. Linette believed she had the upper hand, assuming the intense stress would cause Eala's swing to tighten up. She was dead wrong in the most dramatic way possible. I have played in plenty of huge venues, and I'm incredibly thankful for every single one of them. Still getting back to the round of 16 brings back all those familiar emotions from my run last year. I am honestly so happy and excited to be back. Playing here in Miami is such a massive privilege for me. We are absolutely delighted to see you here. Come on, everyone, let us hear it one more time for Eala. So, the standout talent from the Philippines continues to stun her fans with her performance in Miami. Nico, listening to her talk, you realize why people adore her wherever she plays. This goes way beyond just hitting a ball. She is an incredible sportswoman with poise that seems way beyond her years. Eala never wavered. She simply would not back down. As soon as the tiebreaker kicked off, Eala flipped a mental switch that most athletes can only dream of finding. She channeled that same terrifying, hyper-focused energy that Rafael Nadal is famous for. She took one look at the veteran. She checked the scoreboard and then set about systematically and cold-bloodedly picking her opponent apart. Eala completely flattened Linette in that tiebreaker, finishing it off with a brutal 7-2 victory. A 7-2 scoreline during the most vital moment of the event, facing a rival who was fighting for her life in the match. Eala allowed her rival to pick up only 2 measly points throughout the entire deciding frame. During that stretch, Eala was in total lockdown mode, hitting 7 straight points and seizing the reins just when things got the most intense. You could just see the total look of despair washed across Linette's face in that moment. Imagine fighting for over 60 minutes just to reach a tiebreak, draining every ounce of energy just to stay alive in the set. You wipe your face, step up to serve, and then this 20-year-old kid just smokes you, hitting winners past you like you are a static pylon. Eala ended up winning 71 points overall, while Linette trailed behind with only 59. Eala grabbed 13 games compared to Linette's 9. Eala successfully held her serve 10 times, while Linette only managed 8 holds. Eala won 47 points while serving, demonstrating complete authority, whereas Linette only gathered 42. Every metric that measures who controlled the tempo owned the baseline and applied the most psychological heat favored the Filipina star by a landslide. The impact of this display is sending massive ripples through the entire professional women's circuit. The vibe is absolutely electric right now, and every single pro group chat is going completely off the rails. The elite top 10 seeds are sat in the lounge, staring at the TVs, watching a 20-year-old surgically dismantle a seasoned pro who won 86% of her second serves. The sport's top brass have officially run out of ideas. They threw their heaviest hitters at her to try and blow her off the court, but she just soaked up the pressure and forced them to quit. They sent in the crafty seasoned vets to try and play head games, but she simply outworked them, dragging them into tiebreakers where she smoked them 7-2. So what move does the tour even have left? How do you scout a player with 0 technical holes, a gas tank that never hits empty, and the backing of the greatest clay court legend to ever live? Truth is, you can't. There's no playbook. So you just sit in your hotel room staring blankly at the tournament draw. You see her name right next to yours, and this massive wave of pure dread just hits you. You even start thinking about faking a leg cramp, anything to avoid the total embarrassment of being picked apart on a global stage. Corporate sponsors are sweating through their expensive suits right now. Over in New York, the media bigwigs are pacing holes into the floors of their control rooms. What really haunts them is the fact that they've lost all control over the narrative. They can't seem to manufacture an American or European star capable of stopping this Filipina force of nature. They threw the kitchen sink at her, and she handled it all. She ground through the qualifiers and navigated the toughest parts of the bracket. She brushed aside these veterans, and now she's reached the final stretch fully fresh, mentally bulletproof, and ready to wreck whoever is unlucky enough to face her next. And we have to talk about the most dangerous weapon in Eala's entire arsenal. It isn't something you'll find on a stat sheet, the Eala Army. She wasn't walking alone when she stepped onto that show court today. She arrived with the deafening, unwavering, and incredibly intense support of millions of Filipinos. The whole stadium rattled every time she cranked one of those massive second serves. When she ripped that final winner in the tiebreak, the roar was so loud it literally made the broadcast cameras vibrate. She's effectively turning every stadium on this planet into a home court advantage in Manila. That crowd has become her shield, and her rivals are folding under the pressure of playing against an entire united nation. This is the exact moment that the torch is being ripped violently and without apology out of the hands of the old guard. The era where the media could handpick the winners is officially over. This title was taken by sheer unstoppable force. Alexandra Eala isn't just a prospect anymore. She is the terrifying and dominant reality of women's tennis. She is the ultimate boss. I want every single one of you to go absolutely ballistic in the comments section right now. I am calling for the Eala Army to show out on a scale the internet has never even witnessed. Make your voices so loud and so intense that those nervous executives and rattled players can't ignore the truth anymore. I'm telling you to blast this video across every single social media platform you own. Share this with every tennis fan you know. What's your real take on her winning 86% of those second serve points? Does crushing a seasoned pro 7-2 in a tiebreaker prove she's got the cold-blooded heart of a killer? Just how deafening do you think the Eala Army is going to be when she walks out for her next round? Is there a single person left on the tour, from top seeds to Aryna Sabalenka, who can actually beat our champion right now? Or is the rest of this season just one long historic victory lap for the pride of the Philippines? Leave your wildest celebrations, your deepest tactical takes, and your boldest predictions for her championship victory in the comments below. This isn't a revolution in the making. The revolution is already here. The establishment is trapped in the arena with her now, and she isn't showing any mercy. Let's go.